Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Chelsea Strube. Tomorrow, the Monroe County native accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death will be arraigned. Brian Kohberger was indicted by a grand jury for those murders last week. The grand jury met in secret, choosing to indict him on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. He was originally scheduled to be in court for a preliminary hearing next month, but a grand jury indictment expedites that process and helps the prosecution keep its evidence private. Many factors led to tomorrow's arraignment. Here's a look at the case so far. 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in an off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho on the morning of Sunday, November 13th. The victims, 20-year-old Ethan Chapin, 21-year-old Kaylee Gonsalves, 20-year-old Xana Kernodle, and 21-year-old Madison Maddie Mogan. The case soon garnered national attention as the mystery unfolded. Hundreds of thousands of tips started pouring into the Moscow Police Department, and investigators started combing through hours and hours of surveillance video. Time passed, students returned to campus, and no arrests were made. Steve Gonsalves, Kaylee's father, expressed frustration with the Moscow police for a lack of communication.
You can't imagine sending your girl to college and then they come back in an urn.
Then a slight break in the case. Detectives announced they needed help locating a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra that was spotted near the murder scene. A few weeks later, on the morning of December 30th, an arrest was made. 28-year-old Brian Kohberger was taken into custody at his family's home in the Indian Mountain Lakes community near Albrightsville. Police say Kohberger owns a white Hyundai Elantra like the one on surveillance video around the time of the murders. Kohberger returned to Monroe County after attending Washington State last fall, only about 10 minutes away from where the murders took place in Moscow. A few days after his arrest in the Poconos, Kohberger appeared in Monroe County Court. He agreed to be extradited back to Idaho to face charges. His public defender, Jason Labar, told Newswatch 16 at the time that Kohberger was eager to be extradited so he could be exonerated of the charges against him. After he returned to Idaho, he appeared in court for a status hearing. It was a procedural step in which Kohberger waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. Then the probable cause affidavit was unsealed. According to the affidavit, investigators linked Kohberger to the crime scene after finding a leather knife sheath laying next to the victim, Madison Mogan. The sheath had male DNA on it. Authorities then linked that DNA to Brian Kohberger after police recovered trash from the Kohberger family home in Chestnut Hill Township. According to investigators, one of the surviving roommates told police she opened her bedroom door after she heard crying. She told investigators she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask walking towards her before the man turned and walked towards a glass sliding door. Fast forward to last week. It was revealed that a grand jury in Idaho had been working in secret on an indictment against Kohberger. He was indicted on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count burglary. This grand jury indictment is a step in the court process and allows prosecutors to keep much of their evidence secret.
The public doesn't see it, whether that is an effort to tamp down some of the public interest in the case. It could be whether it is simply from a time and effort perspective more efficient, whether it is a matter that from a perspective of the prosecution not wanting the defendant to have a crack at some of their witnesses. There's a lot of different reasons that the prosecutor can use this tool.
Kohberger is set to be arraigned Monday in Idaho, at which time he's expected to enter a plea. You can read and watch all of our coverage on the University of Idaho murders and the connection to our area at WNEP.com. You can also find the latest episode of our web series, Case of Interest Kohberger, on our website or on the free WNEP app.